Good morning, everyone. I am going to do a quick flip through of a coffee journal I have made. It's my first project I've done, actually, first journal I've done since my husband passed away, was sick and passed away. He passed away in 2019. I didn't do much for 2017 and 2018, so I have redone, started back up, got my craft place going, and my dear friend Melody had given me some things to use when I made my first journal, which I had decided was going to be a coffee journal. And so thank you, Melody, for your support, your friendship, and your love all the years that we have been friends. I appreciate it very much. So I tried to keep it pretty simple. So it is a little bigger than I thought for the spine. The spine is a book. It's actually a book that I took the contents out of and used. So I'll just go ahead and start. I made just a simple tie opener. So just to keep it simple, I didn't try to do anything super complicated with my first attempt at a journal. So this is my cover. This was actually from an ad in a magazine. I embellished it, of course, to give it a little pizzazz. Burlap, coffee beans come in a burlap bag. So there's a little bit of floof here, netting. That's the front. A little bit of sequences here. And I did put a little dangle over here on the side. So I made 3 signatures. This is actually a scarf that I have used pieces out of for different projects. And this has left this kind of a skeleton-y look, feature. So I glued that on the front and the back of the covers. I love coffee, so I have lots of coffee things, coffee protectors, cup protectors. This has actual coffee beans on it. You can actually use it if you wanted to as a tuck. I decided to keep it as a tag. I did not make this, I just embellished it. This is from a poster, a big coffee poster I have. This is just a little tag. This was actually from a styrofoam cup, and I took a picture of its little steamy parts on a styrofoam cup holder and journal on that. I left these 2 blank for now. Is anybody ever finished really with embellishing? Probably not, but I did leave some blank pages. Put a little bit of decorative washi tape on that page edge. Some smaller little tags that I had that I embellished with some coffee dyed doily pieces. And a stamped little coffee mug on this one. Of course, the pages are coffee stained throughout, pretty much. This one, of course, is just a decorative paper. Coffee stamp. I used actually just the little square distress ink form itself to make the edge on that. Some pretty fun coffee dyeing with these pages. This is an actual coffee filter I used in my pot. I just loved the way it looked after it dried, so I kept it. Parchment, coffee dye parchment. This is a little decorative, very simply decorated clip. This is a piece of fabric. I love the design on it. Flip up for just a place to write. It's just a little 3-page thing that you can journal on. This more tag and a coffee cup protector. Embellish this with some sequins. These actually were cut off of a sweater my daughter had. I cut out, the whole front of it was sequined, and I cut it out. It was actual knit, and this actual sweater is still wearable. This was just a feature that was was a separate part of it. Cut it off, so I've used that. Just some more. Very simple. I like both sides of this one. And just a little tag to journal on it. And of course, a little fancy stir stick. I did put lace on the edge of this page. I love this page and the colors. It's hard to see in this picture, but it's very rosy, beautiful. I love the colors a lot. And then on this one, this was actually a page from another journal that I took out. I actually removed it. It had this on it already. And I did put in a few of the cup protectors that I had, just to have them as a memory. This is just a little coffee dyed envelope that I embellished with washi tape and lace. And I put this in here, the journal, Espresso Yourself. I actually made these lines just using the edge of the little distress squares the distress ink squares. I just used it to make lines on the back to journal on it. Put that in later. So I love this page. This is actually also another page that I had taken out of an older journal. It was already embellished with some things made out of book pages. I added this lace, and I added, this was already here, I added this and that. Made this little teeny little tag. And coffee dyed pages. Put some more washi tape on the edge of this page. Embellish this with some of that same sequins. I did have a couple of little coffee cup stamps that I already had. I really didn't buy anything new for this. This I used, I embellished this little, made it kind of like a little mini journaling place. I embellished it with some of the same material that I used on the cover. And it has just some little pages that you can journal on or put whatever you want on there. It's been a while since I've actually done a flip through, so this is probably kind of a little rough, but thank you for your patience in advance. Made a little coffee, little tag with the coffee. See if I can get you to see it here. It says coffee with these little beads. And then a nice big tag, nice big journal tag. And a little decorated paper clip. Another little tag. I used an actual coffee filter for the corner tag holder, tuck place. So these are just two very simple tags. I always try to put incorporated dragonflies in my work because it has a special meaning for our family. And a little teenier one with a little star. This is a tag that someone else had made, and I just added this to it to make it coffee related. I like the tag and the color of it. This is, of course, another very heavily coffee dyed doily crocheted type feature with buttons. Flip it up and it says, oops, didn't know that got stuck there, sorry. Hello, life, but first coffee. These were actually, I think I used a leek to make these coffee stains. I cut it off and it gave it kind of a rose feature. Another little I have this paper from, I don't remember where I even got that paper, and I just put another coffee cup protector in there. Put some more washi tape on this edge. Just a little collage feature on this page. I had this envelope, I think it was gifted to me by somebody. I added these little decorations here. I have a friend from Colorado. We've known each other since we were in junior high. And she had a coffee shop in Colorado up by Bailey, up in the mountains. And so she had this little book that had different recipes and stuff in it. But one of them was called The Lingo, Terminology for Coffees. So I went ahead and made a photo of that and thought that would be a good thing to include in here. Another little kind of a collage area with buttons and burlap and some tissue. More coffee dyed. I made an inch. This was actually cut off of a shirt that I had that had a bunch of beads, and it was brown with beads and stitching on it. So I thought it was very coffee related, so I put that on that edge to embellish. And that is the back, the end of the signatures. And on the back of the cover, I put, this is from that same magazine ad as the front. And I just kind of added some burlap and some kind of a thin, like an interfacing almost, but I thought it was looked cool. So anyway, that's my very first journal I've done since about 2017. So I appreciate it. Appreciate you looking, and I'm glad to share. I'm glad to be back, and I just bless you, Melody. You really helped me a lot through all of my times. So love you, lady. Bye.